Hi guys, how are you doing? Hi guys, how are you doing? So we are back, and the new week has begun, and we are looking at a lot of stuff that would be happening, that are happening, and how everything is looking. We would be looking deep into every analysis out here, so that we can actually understand that what is going on, and it would make a good difference in your trading if you understand how the fundamentally the things are and how things look. Let's jump into the fundamental aspects for a little while so that we can actually see that how actually data is coming out. So at 4:15 a.m., that is the Eastern Standard Time, in euro right here we would be having the French PMI and flash service PMI. So it is for the manufacturing and services. PMI is known as, it is a level of the diffusion index based on surveys purchasing managers in the manufacturing industry. It shows the manufacturing, and above 50 indicates the industry expansion, below contraction, and there are two data that are revealed, that is the flash and the final, and it is a leading indicator for the economic health. Business reacts quickly to the market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold the most current and relevant insight of the company's economic view. The survey is about 750 purchasing managers, which asked the respondent to rate the relative level of the business conditions, including the employment, productions, new orders. So it is the index based on the purchasing managers, and it is and similarly for the services we can see that it is an index based on the surveyed for the purchasing managers based on the surveyed industries. So service industries are like anything that provide the services. So similarly it is coming for the German, and then we have like for overall euro, that would be important as well. Then we do have like for the pound PMI, really important stuff coming out at 5:30 a.m. today. So it is, everything is happening between us in the London session today. And then for the USD we would be having the PMIs as well, really important at 9:45 a.m. at the Eastern Standard Time, that is a New York time. And then we would be having it for the USD, and then for, so everything actually right here is for the PMIs, and that would be making some of the differences around here. And we can actually see that right here, for the pound we would be having the speaks of the their governor, and then FOMC member meeting, and then monetary policy meeting for the yens as well would be coming at the evening. But overall, if we see that the scenario is for the PMIs right here, and all the data is for the PMI, and PMI is one of the important data that actually makes much of a difference, and it has to be above 50 that we have discussed. So we can see that here service PMI is for above 50 right here, and for the US it might be above 50 as well. So let's see how things are. And before we get more deeper into the understanding, we can see right here that some kind of news is out here which we can discuss. That in the hot stories we can see that the Trump hints at the flexibility for China, even as plows ahead of the global tariff plan. So Trump is like hinting a bit of the flexibility for that, for the China, and UK Finance Minister Reeves says that she will stick to the fiscal rules despite of the global turmoil. So she's saying that she would be sticking to their own rules despite of like what is happening globally, and she want to like stay whatever she was doing already. And then Carney launches a campaign with the promise of the tax cut. So their Liberal leader Mark Carney is launching the first election campaign today, much of like on the side of the Canadian dollar. And S&P Global flashed Australian PMI new order expands quickest pace since May 2022. So this says that so there's not much of a data out there in the base of the news. We can see that Japan's factory activity declines, and their governor BOJ's governor said that our policy purpose is to achieve the stable prices and won't be disturbed by consideration for the state finance. Will continue to rise interest rates. Oh, so Bank of Japan is saying that they will continue to rise interest rate if the likelihood of achieving economic price outlook rises. So this is important data that actually represents that bank of that is Japanese yen could be getting stronger because of the continuous rising of the interest rate if the likelihood of the achieving economic prices outlook rises. And similarly we can see that this is a journal thing that we actually saw out here. Let's see that how things are looking in the forex market overview. So euro has like opened to be positive right here, and pound is also positive, yen's a bit down, Australian dollar is positive, Swiss is a bit down, and if we see the top stories right here, we can see that not of news are a little bit of the old news is out here. We can see here we have like about a South Korean Australian dollar rises on a strong PMI. By the way, like we did had like data for the Australian dollar as well for the PMI, because if you see right here, we did had like a PMI for the Australian dollars right here, and it was positive, and this is also positive because they are greater than the 50. For Japanese yen, it wasn't greater above, it was below 50, so indicating the contraction, a little bit of contraction around here. So that is what actually it represents around here. So let's jump into the heat map right here. So if we look at the heat map, so let's start from Euro USD. If we see the Euro and USD right here, it's around about 0.14. It seems like the dollar is getting a little weaker around here. And if we see the Australian dollar right here, it's like 0.16. It's strengthening a little. GBP USD, we can see that the pound is on the rising scale right here, and when we see the New Zealand Kiwis around here, we can see that the Kiwis are weak, and this is something bit shocking that why Kiwis are weak, and we can actually like use this understanding that Kiwis are weak. And then pound is weak as well a little bit. Australian dollar is more stronger than euro even, so Australian dollar is like strongest right now. Then if we see that on the USD CAD right here, USD, and this is Canadian dollar right here, we can see that the dollar is weak. We can see that dollar is weak right here in the Canadian dollar. If we see that USD CHF, we can see that dollar is stronger right here in USD JPY. We can see that dollar has gained a good amount of strength with the opening of this week. And similarly, if we see with the Chinese yuan, that USD CNY, we can see that the dollar is stronger around here. So overall it seems that the Canadian dollar is stronger because of the new party campaign and everything, while Swiss is more stronger than that. Just a sec. Canadian dollar is the strongest one. No, sorry. Canadian dollar is the weakest one right here. Oh God. Canadian dollar is the strongest right in this, and then we have Swiss, that is stronger. USD. So if we see that Euro NZD, how it is happening, that Euro right here, NZD, we can see that Euro is stronger here, and AUD NZD, we can see that AUD is quite stronger here. Pound NZD, pound is stronger, NZD is weaker. So this is how the economic outlook is currently looking. And if we see with like pound Aussie, we can see that pound is weaker, start giving us on a downside move. Really important stuff out here. And similarly, if you see GBP CAD, we can see that it's not going anywhere, just hanging around the opening price right now. Swiss, we can see that with the Swiss, the things are a little bit getting weaker for the Swiss as compared to the pound. And similarly with the yens, we can see that much of a reaction is happening with the yens. So overall, like if we see the two pairs, that is yen and NZDs, they are the weakest one right in here, while if you see the Australian dollar and AUD and CAD, they both are the strongest one. So this is what we can actually know with the cross heat map of the pairs. And let's jump into the charts and see that what actually things look like, and we can actually see and understand. But overall, like if we see with the Australian dollar, So these are the datas that are actually came around like 5 p.m. because the market opens around 5 p.m. So Eastern Standard Time for 5 p.m. The new market open around the world, around the globe when it is 5 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time. That is on the New York time. The other world is begin working. So the Sydney Saturn session kind of like opens around 5 p.m. and we can see that for the Australian dollar, the things look quite good. And we can see that S&P Global Australian Manufacturing Index compiled by S&P Global from the response of the monthly questionnaire sent to the purchasing manager around 400 manufacturers. So if we see, I want to see the currencies right here, and if we see Australian dollar right here, we can see it might have be saying that this is the news that is actually there, that Australian dollar climbed towards like 0.63 on the Monday, snapping 4-day losing streak and upbeat of private sector activity data boosting the market sentiments. So it actually is telling us about that Australian dollar actually gained some of the strength with the PMIs that actually came out, and we can see right here that with the AUD USD, we can see that there's a little bit of a volatility around here, a lot of selling in Kiwis right here. Euro has boosted a little bit, and similarly USD CAD right here is showing that the dollar is weaker, dollar is stronger, Swiss is weaker, and yens are weaker, and Chinese yuan is a little bit weaker than the Swiss right here. So this is what a general idea looks like. So if we look at the DXY right here, what we are looking at, that prices in the DXY is in this range formation right here, and most probably like the people would be looking for the longs around here, because the idea is that we do have like a double bottom around this point. And secondly, if we see on the daily time frame right here, we can see this W pattern around here. It actually happens that shows that things can actually go and move on the upper side, but the confirmation right now is not there until and unless like we see a proper breakout, and that might be happening around this week as well, because on Tuesday we would be having the consumer confidence, and then we have like a USD final GDP coming out in this week, and that's only the data that is coming out. So we might not maybe like see much of the breakouts this week, but of course the prices are forming in a way that can be a little bit of can provide the clarity. Right now we can see right here that there's a breakout that happened around this point with this candle, and prices pulled back a little bit, moved up, came back down again, retested this level, pushed on the upper side, came back down, and even like continuing the push on the upper side. And we can see that the prices has kind of like reclaimed the level of 104 around here, and 104 level is reclaimed. And if we even like see the bigger picture around, like with the help of Fibonacci around here, we can see that this price has bounced around like 70%. So if we see this range around from this point to this point, the price is retraced around like 70% here, and after retracing 70%, prices are kind of like holding the structure around here. But overall the scenario is that the DXY is gaining a little bit of strength right here, because this was a channel right here, prices was forming a channel, then we can see that it shifted into the range formation right here, and now prices are like consolidating on the upper side. So this is what I mean, that prices came back down here like that, and then prices went into the sideways, and now prices are reclaiming right here. So this is what the structure looks like currently. Like this was a channel right here, then the prices went into the range, and after that now prices are working on the upper side of the range right here, and they might be breaking on the upper side. So much likelihood is that we can see a movement up to like 105 right here. So really interested to see that movement. If this movement happened, kind of like give us more better confirmation that the prices has like become getting the volume in it for making the bullish scenario around here. So let's see, the prices might be pushing on the upper side like that for the DXY. Let's jump into the further. If we see that USD CAD right here, and if you see the daily candle of the Canadian dollar, so overall the Canadian dollar, when it was open, we can see that it was a little bit bearish, but according to the heat map which we actually saw, but overall prices has opened around here, and we can actually see that the prices actually came back down here and then made this doji around here, and after that this could be even considered as a morning star pattern that was formed. Price went up, came back down directly, then price pushed on the upper side, and now price is like working around this in this range right here. So if we overall see the scenario, so this was a bullish move around here, prices went up, came back down, got rejected around here. Around this point we can see a rejection that happened, and after that prices came back down, pulled back, retested that level, went on the downside, reached to this point. After that prices went up and went into this order block right here, and came back down, broke the structure around here, and then started like pulling back a little bit, saw a momentum push up here, came into this range, again went back down there, again moving on the upper side, and now it's going on the sideways like that. So nothing much into it right now, but overall what the scenario seems is like dollar is getting stronger. So this is what it is actually showing. And if we look at the CHF right now from this point, we can like clearly see that the Swiss has been like on the long run has been like pushing on prices on the downside like that, and then prices kind of like formed a structure on the upside, and this was the high right here. Then prices went down, retested the lows around here, that created this uptrend move, and then prices came back down. The urgency for the price to come back down is really high. You can see right here that the way the prices are pushed on the downside, they weren't able to push on the upper side like that. and then came back down, formed this double bottom, took the liquidity around here, and then price pushed on the upper side, came back down again, went tried to push on the upper side, failed to break on the upper side. And this is a railroad pattern we can see right here. And if we see in a simple term that this was the like a resistance around here, price broke out, and now forming a support right here, much likelihood that we can see that prices like even might break on the upper side now and continue to move on the upper side like that. So if we see that in the daily right here, we can see that prices went up, came back down. This is the opening price right here, this is the closing price right here. Price went up, came back down, then price opened around here, pushed a little bit more on the downside, stopping the people out who might have like taken the longs or might have like given their brought their stop losses in between to save up the trade. And we can see that price is like might break on the upper side like that. So much likelihood is that the dollar would be breaking on the upper side. If we see the USD JPY right here, we can see that the dollar was pushed on the downside from this point. After forming this high, the price pushed on the downside further, again like pump and dump scenarios, pushing the prices on the downside like that. After that, the momentum started building around here. We can see that prices was trying to push on the upper side. We did got a good amount of break on the downside like that. And now the scenario is simple, guys, that if there is a breakout around this point like that, if there's a breakout, it's well and good. We might see a reaction around this point, that prices even like might fail to break on the upper side and give like 3 play pattern, and like again can push on the downside like that as well. So it all depends upon the data that would be coming back. And if we see daily, if we can see that the daily has been like forming like this was maybe like last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then this movement began. Although like the charts are showing based on the timing that they open at GMT 0, so this candle actually develops around the transition phase, but overall it seems to be little bullish. So we might see some kind of reaction around here, much important point, and I would be looking at that level. So that is around like I want to place my alert at 150 100 in order to see that how things look. Then Euro USD, we can see that Euro USD has been after this breakout that happened around here, we can see a bullish momentum on the upper side. Prices pushed on the upper side like that, and we can see that there is not even a significant break around here, but we are looking a little bit of break around here. But we would be sticking to our plan that after the break around this point, we might see some kind of like a trade around here, but we have to wait for that. Secondly, we can see that a little bit of the strength is being diminished right now from this point. Euro GBP, we can see right here that in Euro GBP we can see that the euro became weaker around here than pound, then again euro went stronger, and there was a range formation around here. Prices went down, pulled back, and then went down, broke around this point, and right now it's like a range formation here, and this is the range formation around here which is forming. And it all depends upon basically the PMIs that are coming for euro and pound, that would be making the difference. So overall it seems that the prices are still holding the levels around here. So this is the important level around here, that if we see a momentum break on the downside, we can like grab this position in any sort of pullback. And then Euro Aussie, it's still like having that bullish momentum that has been like in there, and then the breakout that happened around here, prices pulled back around this point, pushed on the upper side, and came back down a little bit in Euro, and after that the prices again started forming this ABC pattern around here, and now prices are going on the sideways like that. Much likelihood is that prices can continue, but it depends, because Australian dollar is quite stronger right now based on the PMI data that actually came out. So this is a trade, guys, that has been like that is a running trade right now, which I had taken. So I can explain you like how this trade was taken. So what ended up happening, that this is Euro NZD. We can see that Euro was pushing on the upper side each time, breaking the levels around here, and then we can see this was a deeper pullback around here. Price went up, came back down, retested this level, again continued the move on the downside like that, going down right here. And most important thing is that we did have like a small head and shoulder here as well. After the prices came back down there, again prices pushed on the upper side, came back down, retested this level, went up, and this is where actually like I kind of like executed around here on 1 hour time frame. And then prices started like rather than like pushing on the upper side, prices started going and coming on the downside like that. So we had like a zone in here, I guess around 15 minutes. We had this zone around here. This is the first time rejection level, FTR level, and we can see that exactly the prices actually like when the prices started buying around here. So I wanted to like get the momentum that it might continue like that, but what ended up happening, that prices came back down, reached at this point, forming a peak formation low around here. Prices went up, again came back down, and then kind of like broke the structure and moving on the upper side. So now my stop loss has been like placed a little bit closer. Initially my stop loss was here, then my stop loss went up below this line on this 1.87949, and now my stop loss is around 1.88216. So this trade has been like kept the same. It was open around Thursday. So guys, as you might have noticed, that I kind of like trade more on the swing side rather than like on the day trade side. So my trade is usually run like from 2 to 10 days. So I will keep it open, and until I get lock my first profit, then I would be making to break even, and then keep it on until and unless I get a proper understanding that what is going on. And similar structure, like we can see that a pullback is happening around Euro CAD. Most probably like if the euro would be getting stronger, so we might see a reaction like that as well. Euro JPY, the similar structure around here, that the euros are stronger, yens are quite weaker. We can actually position ourselves as well in this trade as well, because any like the breakout that happened, like really clearly any sort of pullback around this order block, we can expect a move like that. So and with the Euro CHF, we can see it's the same thing happening around here. So pound USD is going sideways like that, but not breaking on the downside. GBP Aussie, we can see that the pound is stronger than Aussie, but overall I believe that the GBP Aussie is not that strong. What I mean is the Australian dollar is stronger than, let me like write in text guys so that you can actually understand that what I'm just actually saying, that GBP is AUD is greater than GBP right here. So this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that AUD is stronger than GBP right here. So what actually the scenario can be, that we can actually get a really good trade in there, by the way. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So this is the kind of scenario that is being built. So we had like this triple top around here, and then again this liquidity sweep that happened. This is really important structure, by the way. This is a triple top, this is a liquidity sweep that happened. Price took all the orders around here who was like selling around here, stopped them out with this wick around here, came back down, retested this level, came back again down, and again going to retest this level. So this is what we are looking at. But what I actually believe, that if the pound didn't get more stronger than Australian dollar right now, so we might even see that prices went up, failed, and can come back down again like that. So this is what I actually believe. Let me like make it for you again, that this is what things can happen in incoming time if the pound didn't get stronger. So let's see how the things develop. And GBP NZD, as we know that NZDs are weaker, and you can see right here that prices went on the upper side, failed, pulled back, again prices retested around here and pulling on the upper side. So much likelihood is that we can just expect a price to reach on the upper side like that. It can give us some wonderful opportunity. By the way, I like this trade as well. GBP NZD can give us a long position, but we are in the long as well in Euro NZD right here, Euro GBP CAD. The formation is more on the side right now, being developed, a little weaker opportunity for the pound, but we can see that if the prices are holding around here, and if the prices are holding around here, we can expect a move like that in the pound after the PMI actually comes back, and we can expect a move to reach on this point around there. And GBP NZD, GBP JPY, we can see that we got this measured move around here. From here we got this move like that till this point. That this was our analysis, and that went really perfectly well. But after reaching to this point, we can see that yens are still quite weak, and that's why we are getting like a reaction like that around here, forming a double bottom, and then prices breaking on the upper side. So much likelihood is that the prices can go on the upper side like that. It can be a really good trade, by the way. And similarly GBP CHF, we can see that it's like on the sideways right now. Australian dollar, not much stronger. Let's see how much price has moved in the daily. So the daily opened around here, and we can see that the prices are pushing on the downside like that, coming around this point and then further breaking on the downside like that. But there is something more to it, and that actually shows that the Australian dollar is losing the momentum, and that can make things a bit different. AUD NZD, we can see that NZD is weaker, and this is a wonderful trade, by the way, which I was actually looking at. And we can see right here the swing failure pattern happened around there, forming a peak formation low down there, and prices are pushing on the upper side. Really a good move that has been developed around this in AUD NZD. AUD CAD, Canadian dollar is getting stronger, and Australian dollar is being pushed on the downside. You can see the reaction that is happening, that prices actually formed this peak formation low around here, and then the prices went up and now pushing on the downside like that. And this AUD JPY, Australian dollar is getting weaker and weaker continuously. By the way, like there was a trade that might have this was executed a little bit, retested this level, scratched the trade out, went back down there, and went back out there, and continuously going on the downside like that. But it's really important for you guys to understand that the importance of the stop loss right now. See, this was a stop loss, and I might have locked a little bit of position around this point, because surely I would have. But the idea is that if the trade is scratched right now, but if I wouldn't have placed a stop loss around here, so see how worse the things would have gotten. It would have given me a triple loss around here. So really important thing to place a stop loss. NZD is quite weaker, that's why we could seeing that NZD is moving down. With NZD CAD, the prices are going down further, and again with the yens, NZD yen, the prices are going on the downside, and NZD CHF prices are going on the downside like that. So if we see the CAD is stronger, and we can see right here that the prices are, because the Canadian dollar would open around at 9 o'clock for the New York session, so we might see the volatility then for the Canadian dollar. And this was the interest rate data that actually came out for the Swiss. At this point, the Swiss interest rate actually came back, and we can see the momentum that happened on the upper side like that. Prices came back down, went up, came back down, pushed on the downside, and right now it's around here still. So it's good that we got stopped out around this point. So, and then CHF JPY. So let's see how the things look in Frankfurt session, so we would be able to decide that. Anyway, overall that DXY is pushing on the upper side, and if we see around here, or if we see the heat map, we can actually see that how things are now currently looking. So the momentum has been shifting. If we see like euro USD, the euro is stronger, and if we see euro NZD, NZD is weaker. If we see the euro Australian dollar, we can see that AUD is stronger than the dollar. If we see the euro USD CAD right here, we can see that the dollar is a bit weak, and in here Canadian dollar is stronger. And if we see the Swiss, we can see that Swiss is weaker, and pound is the weakest right now. So sorry, yens are weakest right now, and Swiss are a bit weaker. So Canadian dollar is stronger. So and this is what we are looking at right now. I hope you guys understand like how this correlation effect works, but seems like my current trade might reach to this level. So if the prices reaches around here, around 189,500, I might be like taking a little bit of a partial and then pushing the prices on the upper side further, because this is a clear zone around here. So what I want to tell you guys is something that you need to actually plan the setup, guys. Like if you wouldn't even plan a setup, don't take a setup like blindly, like for scoring out the pips in the candle. Like if this candle is out here, so you might like enter around here, and if you enter around here, and you might like place a trade and then exit around here in a one candle. This is not the focus right now. So what I focus is like kind of like a pullback. So if the prices are actually in the range around here, and if I see a break like that, the break which is happening, so let the break happen. Then if the prices pull back with the range expansion, that is the range that has been expanded, and then prices pull back on a small candles like that, weak candles, so I might enter. So then the prices would be pushed on the upper side like that. So Sherry is asking that what's your view on the gold. We can look at the gold. So gold is still bullish, guys. Like of course, like with the past 3 days, we can see that past 2 days we can actually see that this is Sherry, this is the day 1, that was the first red day, and then other red day around here. We can see that the candle opened around here, pushed back downside, went back up, and again like this opening that we are looking at is getting a little bit of the bullishness, but still prices are holding around here. So what is my view is like it's like nothing in a sense, because prices are still holding above this point, above this level. So any sort of like breakout, if the prices reach, listen, the idea is that if the prices reaches around this point, and if they are unable to break around that point and give us a move like that, then you can actually take in a position. Otherwise, like if the prices are unable to break, because we can see that continuation here, that prices are continuously pushing on the upper side like that, and any sort of like a pullback could be an opportunity to push on the upper side. But as a retail, guys, it's really important to understand that we can't actually understand where the price would be moving based on you're working as a retailer, so you don't know the prices would be pushed on the upper side or not. So in that case, you have to actually wait for the prices to reach on the upper side like that. From this point to this point, I would be waiting for the prices to reach on the upper side, because any action you just take around here might like be a problem, because let the price come down towards any of these level, and if the prices break around here, and there would be a reaction around this point. So if the prices like break out from the downside, the position which you can actually capitalize on would be this one. This is a clear position if the prices comes around here, because this is a clear candle around here, and even if you can hold it, it might be going on the downside like that. But for that thing to actually happen, just wait till the prices reaches around here and then forms a price section around here, might be like that if the prices continue on the downside like that. But overall the scenario looks, you have to wait for the positions like that. So this is what I actually believe, that you have to actually wait around this point. So any sort of the action should be done around this zone and around this zone. So this is what I believe. So I was planning to, he's saying that I was planning to buy at 3k, not sure about SL around 97 maybe. So he is planning to buy around 3k. Yeah, you could you can actually try buy around this 3k, because you see this is the kind of like a resistance that has been forming around here. Then there was a breakout, then a pullback. So it's similarly like prices went up. Here we had like let me explain you like this. Here we have like a small kind of reaction, then prices went up, and this is a small range right here. This is a range breakout. Now prices come back. So you are planning to buy around here until this point, because you don't know like where the prices will be going. So you can try a small try a move with that kind of momentum that would be built in here around this point. So, and your stop loss, you're saying that like for example you're saying that your stop loss would be around 97. So why don't you wait for 97, where you are talking about you should place your stop loss around 97? So it might be around sorry, here somewhere, right? So this is if this is 97 right here, and you want to buy around this, of course like on 3000 we would be having the reaction, as it is a round number, and people and masses might be looking at this level. But see guys, like I don't know, because the idea is that as a trader you don't know if the price would be coming out or not coming around here. Like let's see example like this, which the trade which I've executed right here. Let me like explain you when by removing all this. So see, this was the breakout that happened. Try to understand in the context of gold the breakout that happened. I kind of like, let me explain you on 1 hour right now, so that you can understand it better. So this was the price action out here, right? Try to consider it in the term of gold. This was the breakout that happened. The breakout happened, the prices came back. I kind of like tried buying around here. This is the buy which I did, in order to hope for the prices to push on the upper side. But what ended up happening, that prices went on the downside like that, right? Prices came back down, started pulling on the downside like that. My stop loss was under this point right here. What ended up happening, that prices stopped around this point right here, because on 15 minutes we do have like a FTR level here. So prices stopped around there, then prices started pushing on the upper side. So what ended up happening, that my initial stop loss was here. As the price came back down, and I understood that the prices market is holding the structure around this point, and if the markets are holding the structure around this point, my stop loss came here. After that the prices went up, pulled back again, and again like broke out of this structure. So where my stop loss would be going now? Of course it would be moving around here. So it's a similar concept right in there as well. Like if you see the gold, the concept is similar in here right now. So if you are buying at 3000, so you are thinking that it has broken out of this range around this point and now pulling back. So if it is like gonna continue like that, if this is your trade plan, so you can take a position because you believe that the prices has actually broke out of the range, right? Let me, so you are saying that this was the range you were looking, and prices has broken out of this range around this point, and now prices are pulling back around here, and that's why I'm looking for a buy around here. This makes sense. But if you're saying that you're gonna buy around 3000 right here, I don't find any logic behind it, because this is an order block right here. Prices came back into this order block. Until and unless like prices kind of like break out of this zone around here, pull back and then continue, then you're gonna buy it. You can't buy it like without it, because if you see right here, there hasn't been any structure formation right now, because after this big sell-off that happened, prices came back around here, and then prices are pushing on the upper side. So now let this range actually develop itself. Let it develop itself, and let it develop itself around here. So if there is any kind of like proper breakout, then take it. Otherwise you have to actually wait. Otherwise you can look at some other pairs as well. So I hope it makes sense, and I cleared your idea. So AFK AKFX Academy is talking about pound. We can see the pound here as well. So as we can actually see, for the pound I would be using the correlation effect. So we can see that as the pound opened, so pound is like down around about like 0.09%, and we can see that the DXY is like 0.03% stronger right here. So it seems that as the pound opened into the selling structure right here. We can see that pound has opened around like 0.90. So for the pound, guys, like I've already told you, that idea is that we do have like a data coming for the pound around 5:30 a.m. So that is the Eastern Standard Time, and we can see that these PMIs might be bringing much of the clear idea about like where the pound would be moving. So in that case, right now what I believe is that currently the pound is in the bullish structure overall. So because the prices we can see like there has been like a continuation of the breakouts around here. We can see like this was a breakout, pullback, continuation, pullback, continuation, and then the prices are in actually a sideways range right here. So this is a current idea that we have to wait for the data for the pound to actually being released, and overall the pound seems to be like in a bullish trend. And if the pound actually breaks around here after like PMI and getting weaker, then we can actually like take a trade in the pound, and it can further push on the downside. But overall I believe that it is in a bullish trend. Still it's bullish. It could be like a formation, like continuation, then a little bit of ranging like that, and then move on the upper side like that. So Sherry, I hope it makes sense, because But what if we see it currently is, the idea is that you see that all of the sudden the Australian dollar got really weak and New Zealand Kiwi got really weak, and we can see that the prices are like continuously pushing on the downside and right here. But now I want to show you something. Like if we see uh, euro euro Aussie, we're gonna see, I can bet that euro Aussie would be stronger. See a little bit of move, and similarly GBP AUD would be stronger. See, this is the move. So this is how you kind of like use the cross sessions out here. So anyway guys, like the idea remains the same. Just work with patience and plan your setup. That's most important thing. Take a planned setup and adjust your stop losses based on the setup. And you can't randomly buy it, because although sometimes there are breaks that has happened, like break of structures that are being continuously being happened, but on the downside, on the upper side, it doesn't mean anything until unless like your momentum actually shifts around. So take care guys.